done.
It's done. I don't know if you guys watched this. 16-0 for the Golden State Warriors.
New record for the NBA.
All time.
All time.
The Bulls couldn't even do that. Jordan couldn't do that. LeBron couldn't with the Miami Heat. They did have 27 in a row. But this is 16 in a row to
the
start
hottest
a
start
season.
ever
of all time. It kind of sucks how they had to do it against the Lakers at home, which is kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah.
They're up by they won by 50
whatever. Like, who cares?
Yeah, so who cares pretty much. But we got to pose the question though. Because if you remember correctly, a few weeks ago, it was about 7-0 start.
That's correct.
And I was saying they're going to beat the 72-10 Bulls world record.
Well, they're definitely on pace.
They're on pace. And not only that, I also said they're going to go 41-0 at home. And I am absolutely sticking to that. So I'm going to pose that question back to you. Are they going to beat the 72-10?
72-10?
Because they're on pace.
They're on pace. However, if you look at the last, the record before, the 14-0s, they didn't end up 72-10.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of things that can happen mid-season. They're definitely on pace and they're playing super impressively. But
yeah,
I'm still a skeptic.
But what's your final decision here? Because, they could go 25-0.
I'm still a skeptic because, out of the 16-0, they escaped with a lot of close calls.
Oh, yeah.
So, once they lose a few games and they get that image shattered where they're no longer unbeatable,
okay.
I think other teams can break that mental barrier and take a few games from them here and there.
Yeah.
So, let me answer this question in full. They are not going to break the 72-10 record.
Okay, that's good.
That's my official prediction.
That's your official prediction. Yeah. Mine is not only will they're going to go 41-0 at home. That's the MFA prediction right there. You have yours. But what I want to do is take a look at the schedule, right? If you notice, they haven't played OKC, Spurs, Cleveland. So these are kind of like not too impressive wins, right? And then if you look at their schedule, they could easily win the next 10 plus games in a row. Easily. They're up against Phoenix, Sacramento, Utah, Charlotte, Toronto, Brooklyn, Indiana, Boston, Milwaukee, Phoenix, Milwaukee, Utah. And then finally, after all of those 12, 13 games, they verse Cleveland.
Okay. So how many games is that before they face Cleveland?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games.
12 games.
12 games before they verse anyone good.
So what you're trying to tell me is you think they can go 28-0.
They can
before facing the Cavs and having the NBA Finals rematch. Well, not rematch, but
Yeah, not only do I think they're going to be 28-0 when they face Cleveland on Christmas Day. They will do it.
They will be 28-0.
They will be 28-0 when Cleveland faces them. Whether they're going to win that game or not, I will make my decision when the time approaches.
Pull up the schedule again. Let me see who can potentially knock them off their high horse, so to speak.
Yeah, they got at Toronto, perhaps. They have one of the hottest starts as well.
Toronto. Well, if you bench Lowry in the fourth,
that could be a recipe for.
We might have, we might go somewhere. They had a scare in Brooklyn again, but if I were a betting man, they're gonna crush Brooklyn the second time around.
Yep.
Let's see.
At Toronto, at Boston, to me,
Boston, you think
is the tough one because Boston's been playing really well right now. To me, that's the hardest one.
You know what's interesting though? Milwaukee is they're kind of like the Golden State Warriors, but version 0.5.
Yeah.
If Golden State's is the run and gun, one guy can guard 3 positions, 2.0. Milwaukee's 0.5. They're a younger version, or a less polished version, and they can't shoot the 3 nearly as well.
Yeah.
And they don't have a Steph Curry, but then their idea of forming a team is similar.
But my point of them is they just can't put points on the board. No matter how good the defense is, Golden State's going to score over 100 points. So you have to match that. And Milwaukee averages less than 100.
What do you think about what do you think about Phoenix?
Phoenix to me is a little bit of a tricky one.
They have a really good backcourt too.
Yeah, because the next game is actually at Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's very soon.
What about Sacramento? They escaped with a nail biter last time they played Sacramento. Rondo's been on another level.
To me, because they're playing in Golden State, my position is they're going 41-0. They're going to beat Sacramento. Though Cleveland on Christmas Day is at Golden State, I did predict them to go 41-0, but I'm gonna have to save my prediction for that particular game when we get nearer to Christmas.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but hey, Golden State, they're the best team right now,
Okay,
perhaps
okay.
of all time.
Okay, so
all time.
72-10 aside,
Yeah.
I want to ask the question
Okay.
because they're definitely going to make the playoffs. If they finish, let's say, I don't know, 73-9 or like
Oh, okay,
75
yeah.
and whatever, right? And they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
How big of a collapse or disappointment is it if they don't win it all? With such a hot start like this.
It would have to be an epic collapse. Like you just absolutely destroy everybody.
Well, let's just say they get matched up with, pretty hard matchup. Somehow they get matched up with OKC.
And Spurs.
They get matched with the Spurs.
Yeah.
For some reason, they got to play Clippers as well.
And then they have to face Cleveland in the finals.
Right. But then, any of those teams can potentially give them a run for their money in a series. But say their regular season record is whatever, 73 and whatever I was saying.
Okay.
Just something immaculate like that. How big of a collapse or choke, if you will, would that be?
Okay, that's a great question. If they don't make it to the NBA Finals, that is an epic collapse, epic failure. Because to me, if they go to the NBA Finals, Cleveland is the team that could beat them the best. That's my opinion, especially if Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love are healthy. To me, Cleveland will give them the toughest task. So if they go into the finals and lose to Cleveland, to me it wouldn't be as bad or not even close if like OKC beat them.
Right. So would you start resting players or would you try to chase this record if you were the Warriors? So say, it's 3/4 through the season. You're well on pace. You maybe whatever.
Like plus 10.
55 and whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you're 55 and maybe like 6
Like you're
losses,
guaranteed
right?
the first spot even if you lose
exactly.
the next 10 games.
Would you rest your players or would you try to chase this 72-10?
I've been a big advocate of resting players when you don't need to play them, especially in the last few minutes of a game. So with that being said, I would like to see them also rest before the season ends, but not to the point where like Atlanta last year where they rested too many players for too long of a time where they lose their momentum. I would keep them playing every game, but just limit them. If the game is getting a little bit close, hey, why not? They're young.
Because what I'm trying to say is, say they don't rest players, right, and they're trying to shatter this record, they're chasing it, right?
Okay.
And let's say they do it, and they end up with, let's say, 6 or 7 losses for the entire season.
Yep.
Doesn't that just add extra pressure and extra narrative going into the playoffs? It just makes their ultimate goal of winning a ring that much harder.
Yeah, to me that's absolutely right.
Because any game lost in the playoffs after that point is amplified so many times. Because they only lost 6 games in the regular season.
Yeah.
What's going on with the Warriors? What's wrong with them? Even if they lose one game, the media would be all over it. And it's just so much harder to get a ring, just with that extra that added pressure. Because they're now the greatest regular season team ever.
And they're going to have home court advantage the whole playoffs.
Yep.
So the pressure will be on them, absolutely. But to me, this is the thing. Even if they go 5 and whatever, 6, whatever the math is, or they're 60 wins and 22 losses, right? To me, if they get to the finals and they have home court advantage, then the pressure is not going to be that big of a factor to me. They still have to face Cleveland. Even if they won 75 games in the season, it's not going to just be they have to win this. It's auto win. No, it's not. You're up against LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers, who almost beat them last year with one man only. So the pressure will be high.
One can say that this team is better than the one
last season. I do think they're better as well.
Curry is supposed to be on another level,
but
even
to
though
me,
he was on another level.
Cleveland is much better than they were. If you compare it, they're better than Golden State is in terms of difference.
If you listen to the pod, Kyrie's still not back.
He's still not back, but he's coming soon.
Let's say he doesn't, let's say he comes back 3/4 of what he is.
Yeah.
I still think the Warriors have a huge edge if that is the playoff matchup.
To me, he's gonna according to my sources, he's coming back pretty soon. He might even be able to make it for this Christmas game, and if he does, if it's that soon,
that'd be epic.
Then Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, and LeBron could and have a super good chance of beating them in the finals.
So are you going back on your 41-0?
I'm gonna stick to 41-0 right now, which includes that game, but I'm not making that official. My official prediction is they will not lose a home game, but when that home game comes, I may say otherwise.
All right.
If I'm feeling, LeBron.
Okay.
LeBron's my guy.
Okay.
He's got this.
So I feel like we have one more question. everybody's probably been talking about this question. You, your friends, the media, but we got to revisit this. You know how a few pods ago we're talking about best player in the NBA right now? Okay, so we got to rephrase this question.
Okay, just ask the question. I'll
Is
answer.
Stephen Curry the best player in the NBA right now, or does he have the great is his team just way better than everybody else's?
He is not the best player in the world. Still, I don't care what Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Say. He is not the best player in the world, and it is still LeBron James to this point. His basketball IQ and defense, those two, put him on a pedestal higher than Steph Curry. And it shows with last year when he averaged 35, 12, and 9.
Well, sure, but what more does Stephen Curry have to do for you to admit that he's the best player in the NBA right now?
It might seem...
He has the best record. He's leading in scoring.
It's not... Here's the thing. It's not his fault. Okay, I'm not pointing the finger at him. It's just his team is way too rigged. You can see his defensive efficiency numbers, but they're all inflated because their team defense is amazing. It just doesn't... Because people make that argument that his defense is really good nowadays. But it's not. It's just because his team defense is really good.
It's the age-old argument. Best player on best team. And then
yeah, I hate that, first of all.
Best player on best team, supposed to put, you're the best of the best.
He's still not the best in the world. So
logically, you would be best in the world. If you're playing for the best team, and you're the best player on the best team, logically you're the best player, no?
To me, no, he's not the best player in the world. I'm trying to be as subjective or objective as possible, sorry. But with that being said, it's not his fault. Like, if he was on a bad team and he's taking them to the finals and stuff like that, like LeBron or even Dwight Howard did at one point, then yeah, but his team is stacked, and that's just a matter of fact. Okay, one more thing I want to say, actually. Imagine it was the NBA Finals last year. You switch Curry, you switch Curry and LeBron. LeBron goes to the Golden State Warriors with that rigged lineup, and you put Curry with a broken team with Dellavedova.
Yeah, but that's it's so hard to say that stuff because the Cavs will look completely different with Curry. The way that the way they draft.
Yeah, he's gonna pass to somebody, and that guy's not gonna make a play.
No, but the thing is, the team was built around LeBron, the complementing pieces for Cavs. Yeah. You can't just insert Curry and see what happens.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
They drafted based on the GM LeBron. It's like, what? You insert Curry. It doesn't work like that. You can't just do a swap.
Of course you can. You have bad players around him, then he's not going to be as good as he is now. That's my opinion. You put LeBron on any team in the world, put him on the Philadelphia 76ers right now, they're 0-17.
That's not necessarily the case, though, i.e. Harden.
Okay.
He left a better team when he was in OKC to a pretty mediocre Rockets team.
Yeah.
And he became a better player, and he made everybody else around him. He made
absolutely.
The Rockets relevant.
Yeah, Curry will make whoever team he's on relevant. But he won't be able to take them into the playoffs as deep as a LeBron would. Or a Kevin Durant could, solo. Kevin Durant is better than Harden. He could, if you switch Harden...
That's too much speculation for me.
I'm just not convinced, okay? I'm not convinced in Steph Curry yet. Like, of course, he's probably right up there. Some would argue he is the best player in the world, but Kevin Durant and LeBron, to me, are still better, but not AD.
So how do you deny the 50, 90, 60?
No. His numbers are dropped. He's not even at 60 anymore.
Yeah,
he's not even
making that seem like it's no joke. He's not even at 60 anymore. He was at 60.
He's at 52 or something right now. His 3-point is at 45. That's not even close. That's not even close to 60-50. So I don't know. I'm just not convinced yet. That's what I'm saying. Steph Curry, keep doing what you're doing. They're gonna go 28-0. I called that. I'm calling it right now. Before
so if they shatter the 72-10, are you ready to say that he's the best?
I may be ready to say that if his numbers are still amazing like they are because the sample size is so small. They haven't versus the Spurs, OKC, Cleveland. They haven't played anyone that's worth noting yet.
What's supposed to be the Clippers and Rockets, but
that's
to no fault of Golden State, of course, but.
Yeah, so with that being said, they need to just keep playing good.
A few times.
Yeah, they played the Spurs and OKC in the new year. They win a few games. Steph Curry keeps his numbers high while playing the best point guard as well, Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, but they had a streak of luck, right? Because
they did.
In the games they played, supposedly there were supposed to be a few hard ones.
Yeah.
Against the Rockets.
They should have lost
the Clippers.
Yeah.
And supposedly the Pelicans, but. we all know how those three teams are doing so far for whatever reason.
They should have lost to Brooklyn. They should have lost to the Clippers as well, and to Toronto. There's 3 games they should have just lost easily there.
Well, the Toronto one, don't get me started.
Hey, they were up a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, then Lowry started doing Lowry things.
But, you know, the moral of the story here, or the outcome, the conclusion, Golden State is officially the world record holders for the most wins to start a season. They're at 16-0 after they demolished the Lakers. Not even close.
Well, you know what they say. It's not how you start, but how you finish.
Exactly. I love how you just said that. So we'll see how they do in the playoffs. LeBron knows it's all about getting it to the finals. KD, he doesn't care about the regular season.
Well, so, Christmas Day, guys, mark it down. Or Christmas Eve?
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day, guys. Mark it down on the calendars.
Yep. WBR, signing off.
Peace.